Holy crap, guys. I just accidentally went kind of live, but luckily it didn't work. And I didn't realize, let's see, I haven't eaten anything today, and I've had the equivalent of 4 shots of Fireball back to back. Yeah. I weigh 165 pounds. What the fuck? It's just been that kind of a Monday, and it's happy 420, y'all. It's April 20th. And because I have this little bit of buzz, I'm going to let you know that I lied. But I didn't lie. I did make a Saturday video. I just didn't post it because, I don't edit, but I still just felt like it was crap. And I know I went off on a couple of rambling vents in it, bitching about money. And I hate that. I don't want... Yeah, it's not to ever talk about money, okay? None of us have enough, okay? That's just it, right? Here's my neighbor goats. I have no idea what their names are. I just call them the goaty goats. She is a matriarch, I'm pretty sure. And that black one over there, maybe, I think he's probably a wether. They seem to be the two most dominant. And then I have a feeling that this one and that one was their babies. So this could be a wether too. I haven't really got down. I can tell that the females, because of, of their udders, but I have a feeling we get several wethers here, I'm sure. But this one and that one look like the youngest. So they're sweet, and they're stripping the bark off of this cedar tree. Goats eat what they want when they want. They know what they can and can't eat, pretty much. People think goats just eat anything, tin cans, leather, shoes. No. That was cartoon goats. Real goats are hard to keep. They always they walk the fine line of willing to die any moment, because if they get sick, they're just like, okay, well, we're going to hide it from you because we're a herd animal. And then, we're not really going to. They just don't bite. That's why you try not to ever have surgeries or put Anyway, if you don't know anything about goats, learn about goats. Anyway, hi there, pretty. Hi there. You're so beautiful. Some of the most unique, best markings. Anyway, my landlord took all the brush out. I've been throwing bird seed. Pretty much, it helps dissuade the brown-headed cowbirds from messing with the feeders, which I have filled with black oil sunflower seeds because I was missing my cardinals. And I have, since he took this brush pile out, which is a big place that cardinals like to, a lot of the birds have, okay, I can't just blame it on that. I'm sure they've absconded because it's, breeding time, nesting time. There's plenty of food, not just Kate's yard. Indulge me, okay? Anyway, this is the volunteer garden patch. I've been sowing the bird seed that my birds wouldn't eat, which I noticed from weeding my garden. Had a lot of different kinds of common wheat seed, common wheat, plains wheat, so. And if you look under where my feeders are, how thick and lush that grass is, over there under that tree. This is the sod. This is the, I guess Bermuda crabgrass sod he put in. Pesky would have been nice, but Pesky is picky. But anyway, especially here in Oklahoma in this red dirt. But anyway, I have clipped back stuff on my side, but I've left all the vines and the little trees here, and I'm going to let them get big just for privacy and because the goats love them and want them. But anyway, I've been throwing the old bird seed here, so volunteer sunflowers. But this is just different kinds of wheat and oat grass, whatever's in the bird seed. And then over there in the middle, kind of right there, right at my fingertip, are some volunteer tomato plants. Because last year I did throw some tomatoes that had been damaged and... Hi, oh yeah, y'all showing off? Yeah, these two do that more. That's why I think he's probably the same age, but this is probably the wether who thinks he's the alpha and the matriarch, and like any old couple, they're gonna butt heads. Get it? Haha. So anyway, back to, so I did rescan those after they got their second set of leaves because it kept saying butternut squash. I don't remember tossing a butternut squash out of here. But I did have some decorative squashes this fall. And, you know, there's part of its carcass. So they could be in the butternut family. I thought maybe just those first new leaves would be, it would be hard for the app. It's called Picture This, to differentiate, because cucumber squashes, most things in that family tend to look the same when they're babies. I mean, even the sunflowers look the same. But there's all kinds of different things coming up in here. And I told the landlord, you know, we'll see what it does. Just this year for the volunteer garden. And then he can sod it. Because told him I don't mind the little canal here. He's going to continue the fence and it'll just skip over the canal. I mean, that's his property, but the people next door aren't very nice. But I'll miss the goats. I know, they're so sweet. But, and then I'll make a little bridge, I think, over it. And eventually in this corner I will have a little shed or a chicken coop. I think I've about got him talked into letting me have a coop. Well, besides the people up front, I'm like there's 3 of us that have been here since the place opened. And I'm the only one that says, yeah, I plan on being here for years. But anyway, morning glory. Volunteer sunflowers out the wazoo. Lots of 4 o'clocks. Some other things, little green things down there I can't tell yet because they're so tiny. There's a big cluster. Oops, sorry. Shrinking cake, yeah. Big cluster there. Cinematography was never my forte. That sunflower there is getting kind of big, but there's a lot of 4 o'clocks in there. A lot of Indian blanket. Some cosmos, some very, very young looking maybe poppy. It's all a mix in there, so not all of it's going to come up at the same time, but it's all designed for pollinators, hummingbirds, butterflies, bees, and birds, and anybody who wants to enjoy it. But I saw my first hummingbirds this weekend. I've gone back to doing because they just wasted so much. And if the squirrels are going to eat it, instead of wasting the crap the squirrels won't even eat, might as well put these sunflower seeds. So I have a bag of stuff that I keep for the Carolina wrens and ground birds who do need more protein, who tend to eat more bugs than seed. I mean, they all eat bugs, but it's got mealworms and berries and safflower and sunflower, and this is just a mix they like. They ate it all out there and just left the shells, which you can see where I dumped the shells. And there's a few safflower seeds there, if you've never seen safflower. Yeah, kind of teardrop shaped, white, but it is a bird favorite. They did clean out their bowl nicely. I've been having little words with Mr. Squirrel because he wants to come eat out of the feeder when his bowl is full. So I cut down the little branch, which I thought was a cute little shade, but I thought maybe they're not seeing it. I want you to stay off my feeders and eat what I give you. Yeah, it's like dealing with children. So, we've had some really cool nights here in Oklahoma. We got really warm. We've had some thunderstorms and down into the 40s and 50s. And my aloe and my jade are doing all right. On nights that I knew that we were going to have maybe heavy rain and be cooler, I have set them back underneath there for protection, but still outside, so they got the first eastern sun that comes right through there. So anyway, we'll take a quick look, because this is going to make up for the Saturday video. I'm just feeling more magnanimous and generous, and I got a wee tiny buzz. So anyway, down there are my English peas. I found these unique, just wonky looking sticks that caught my eye, so that the peas can climb them. Instead, they may climb wherever. Here's some peas. I use some of my skewers that I don't use for shish kebabs. They make great little pea climbers. The cucumber that I put in here that I thought, it was the one little cucumber that that grew in the house this winter. And I put it out here probably a little too early, and we had some cold evenings, and it looked sad, and I thought it died off, but there it is. I'm pretty sure there it is, or that's its brother, and it did die and willed its life energy to its brother. But there's a pea there, so the cucumber's here. I will probably, when the cucumber gets about 2-3 times that size, I'll pull it out. And by that time, hopefully the pea will be busy doing its thing, and I cannot disturb it too much. It is a later bloomer than these others. Or, not bloomer, but later germinator. So here's some more English peas, and there's a little skewer to climb. I don't know what that is. I think it's a flower. I had come across packets of stuff, so I'm not sure what this is either. And there was stuff that I put in here that I found out in the woods, some wild 4 o'clocks, and I don't remember which one I put them in because it was like fall, and I just stuck them in there, and yeah. So anyway, volunteer sunflower seeds, volunteer sunflowers. I don't know how big they'll get. Because they are volunteer from birdseed, they may not be great big giant sunflowers. Sunflowers, I don't believe, transplant very well, but we'll see what they do. Here's an English pea growing with some marigolds. I didn't know he was in there, but there he is. So, zinnia, a mix, zinnia, basil, which is super sweet and very delish, and something likes it too. And some million bells, and some more million bells, more volunteer sunflower seeds. I'm just letting them do their thing with the marigolds. Salvia, more marigolds, and sage. I know a lot of my European friends in England and Ireland and those in Scotland, they call it sage, and it's in the sage family. We call it salvia, but it's the same thing. But this is sage like you would have put on your roast chicken or turkey and dressing or whatever. So we'll see what all comes up here. This is something, I can't even think of the name. It starts with an H. It makes a little, kind of bushy, makes little yellow flowers. I just had a couple packets and I threw them in there. And it looks like they're doing their thing. I'm sure I need to thin them, but I don't want to thin them until, I try not to thin things too much until I feel like I'm not going to totally traumatize and disturb everything around it. When they're so little tiny like that, it's easy to bruise them or grab too many or just whatever. When they get about this size, that's when I like to thin them. Anyway, these sticks are going to get the little branches taken off, and I'm going to make a couple of tripods for the cucumbers and the rest of the tomatoes instead of buying things, because I have a bunch of mesh. I'm going to make the tripods and put the mesh on it. So there's the mammoth jalapenos, and they're starting to make little babies, flowers. And that is orange bell pepper, yellow bell pepper, and it's making little flowers too. And these are the jalapenos with no heat. But there's some relishes and some things I like to make with the flavor, but share them with people who don't necessarily can't handle or don't want the heat. They can enjoy the flavor. And yeah, I've been hoping that, kind of hope that this tomato and that tomato would have like been the two that didn't make it, then my spacing would be perfect, but I have a hard time killing things sometimes. Yeah, I know. Green beans. That's going to be more than enough for me and my sister. I'll probably have more enough to share, because I'll probably do a fall planting. Pickling cucumber, of the seeds that I had that were pepper seeds for slicers, only 2 come up, but that's fine. I might put another one in just to be safe that I have cucumbers in case these don't make it, but we'll see. But this fall, my landlord, we're fixing to change my lot number from 12 to 11 because he's added one down there, which will be 13. The one behind me, the new bougie people, is 14. So I will become 11, and this one is just going to stay empty. I think he's going to, just so that that yard and my yard have a little bit more room and parking. And this is so sloped, so this fall I'll pull these out. I definitely want to save the dirt. And he's going to move my camper to this side of my power and sewer. So I have a better angle for sewer. Plus, if he has to, he can raise me. But he's going to raise this pad here so that I'll have a pad and a few feet. And then they're going to move to the end. But that spot will have a few more feet and parking. And then he's going to pull out all the gravel and stuff here, except for what I want him to keep, which is going to be about 8 feet. Just that my canopy covers. And then from then on to the wildflower garden. So, yeah, so I'll be parked over there. So this will be where my patio will be instead of where it is now. And he's going to raise this pad, so the patio may be raised a little bit too. But then he's going to scrape out all the rest of this rock, gravel, and sod it. And so I'll have a much more yard, much more flowers. And he likes that I'm the only person that does anything like this around here. But, you know, it makes it look homey here. People like it. They bring their homeschool kids over to name and look at the butterflies and the flowers in the summer. They did that last year. I was kind of touched by it, but they're like, I hope you don't mind, but we homeschool our daughter, and for her science and nature, I brought her over to see, you know, so she could see how many butterflies she could, you know, document and name and watch the hummingbirds and look at the flowers. So it was kind of like a little homeschool nature trip to Kate's garden. So I enjoy that. What I love doing. That's something for someone else other than me, I guess. I mean, I've been alone and am alone for so long that I just taken to it, and I forget that I have any effect on anybody else's life. I really do. What is this? I'm going to have to take a picture of that. So there is a thing that grows around here pretty prevalent. It's called fleabane. It's got other names, and it pops up all the time in the garden. And it can make you think it looks a lot like these, Aldophilosia. Oh, nothing. What is it? Oh my god, I just lost the name of this stuff. Which is all blooming. It's making these yellow fable. Oh, Coreopsis. They make these yellow daisy looking like flowers. And you can see it's just loaded. Loaded with little buds. Flower buds. So morning glories. And these are going to be a really pretty baby sky blue. This is Ileana, the hibiscus. And so yeah, I can't wait for other things to start blooming. But these are things here that are really native to Oklahoma. They were in my mixes, but they also grow here. There's prairie coreopsis, swordleaf, saberleaf, yeah, swordleaf coreopsis. Then we've got Sweet William. And then I think we got zinnia and stuff growing over there. But yeah, I planted things that will come up, not all at one time. Oh, I don't know what this is. I think this is going to be another 4 o'clock. I'm going to get some shears just to clip around places that I don't want the weed eater to beat the crap out of my rock or whatever. But yeah, I don't want to have to deal with a weed eater for just that little bit of space. Anyway, that's where we're at. There's your Monday instead of Saturday video. And oh, this must be my new Mexican, my new neighbor. I think he's Hispanic. He has a little baby I 2.5 liter little Beamer. So anyway, I'm gonna go in now, have some food, maybe another drink. And that's where we're at. So happy Monday, y'all. Happy 420. Hope everybody is feeling chill and happy. And if you're not, I hope you got memories of being chill and happy. And I hope you're just having a great day. Look at the radishes. They're just like, I don't even like them. Bye, y'all.